Da 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 da! What's my good cheer? Welcome, welcome, everybody. You would be so proud of myself and how I handled that. I'll have to go back into my analytics after my live if I have enough time before I run off to work and check out what that little hiccup was. But I just said, oh well, right? And that do it again, go live, everything will be okay. I actually even had a sip of coffee while I was waiting for myself to see if I was actually going live, but I'm pretty confident that I am now. You guys, we are in our fourth day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 4 days now. And we have been working on a really powerful word in this word effort. And I was kind of thinking, well, I wasn't kind of thinking, it would kind of always, like it always does, just kind of comes across my path. And I looked at and I says, well, we did already look at this word in that perspective of action yesterday a little bit, but I don't think I looked at it in quite the same fashion. We're still going to be looking at it in this word action and actual movement and that physicality of getting things done, but in a little bit of a different perspective. And I came back into my notes today and it was right there written, and I thought, well, this is exactly what it is. Faith without action results in nothing. And that results in nothing. I just added that just before I hit the live button. Originally, what I had written was faith without action is a hindrance in everything. And I thought about it and I said, Cindy, why did you write it down that way? Right? Results in nothing. Faith without action, it does cause a hindrance because, in this movement I've been making in these past half a dozen years or so, there have been lessons along the way. And because I show up all the time, those lessons are recognized and they are followed along by people who have been with me for years, right? I'm grateful. I'm grateful for that company, right? But if I didn't take action in that faith that is constantly being revealed to me as we speak, right? Right before I went live, I changed that to be a little bit more digestible for my life. And then just right when I said that, I said, I can't, because that wasn't what I originally wrote down, right? When I just before I came live, I had this part, faith without action, okay? And then underneath that, I wrote, is a hindrance in everything. But before I came live, I says, oh, that doesn't make sense. I don't get what I've just written there. It means something, but what? I don't know. I'm hitting that live button. Let's go with results in nothing. And then when I came in and we started moving in this word effort and going back into that actual physicality of the action, I got it. That hindrance in everything, because it does result in things when we don't take action in those things that we know to be true, those things that we believe in, those things that we know we should be doing, those things that we should be sharing, right? Those things that we should be experiencing, right? And there are lots of reasons why we are held back from accomplishing any of that, right? But having that faith requires us to show up. It was a gift, that faith, that trust, that belief, that knowing was a gift. It was given to us because there was that potential that we could believe in it, that we could have a little bit of faith in that. The failure is not taking action in that faith. in that belief, in what we know to be true. And the hindrance in that is the disappointment, the letdown, the 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 faith that other people, other souls have put into you, because along the way they've come to trust, right? That what you say is what you say, and not necessarily what you say is the absolute truth, because somebody's got to be wrong. But the way I go about it, in my genuineness, in catching where I make those mistakes, in course correcting when I recognize that that course correction needs to be made, and I've done it. It's embarrassing, right? Who wants to say I'm so sorry, I was wrong, right? But if you have faith that everything will be okay, in taking that action of doing a little bit of course correction, you could not only restore a faith that might, right? It was recognized. They knew you were doing wrong. They knew you got that answer wrong. They knew you moved in the wrong direction, right? But because they believe in you, sometimes people go along with you, right? Just because you're kind, you have other qualities that make their life a little bit easier. But because, right, we're not getting it right, right? Well, they're around us. So they're picking up in this residue of unnecessary. And for me, that unnecessary is the dancing and around the bush, right? Dancing around the truth, speaking in underlining in the sentences and what I'm trying to get across, hoping, praying, right? Not necessarily having faith, but just hoping and praying that somebody is going to catch it and move with that, right? But that hindrance is exactly that, that having that knowing and that understanding and not running with that ball, that is a hindrance. And it's not just a hindrance to you, but it's the hindrance to those you picked up along the way, right? Because they're going to recognize. Lots of people just say, just take what you resonate with, take what you resonate with, right? But in every second sentence, when they're saying just take what you resonate with, how much of that are you actually resonating with? Wouldn't you much rather go to the source, right? Wouldn't you much rather go to that encyclopedia where all those answers are compressed and all in one spot, right? Faith without action is a hindrance in everything. That's a lot better than results in nothing, because, right, it is in that idea of, cause and effect, isn't it? Right? The cause and the effect. And in properly course correcting ourselves in that, we take away the sting that it results in nothing, and it makes us feel a little bit better that it's just hindering us, it's just stalling us out until we get that answer or pick up that steam or get course corrected, right? That no longer, that lack of faith is not going to result in nothing, right? It's going to result in anything. Just running and taking that action on the idea. And that's what I did. I mean, it was a big wake up call. But when I started all this, I was in survival mode. I was grasping at strings, right? A lot of my movement now would have been, yeah, I don't think so 6 years ago, right? Right? Sometimes we have to move into things and experience things and feel things out for ourselves, right? If we've never experienced them before, right? You have to feel what's true for ourselves, and you can't just say, right? Just resonate with what you resonate, because then you're going to be off everywheres taking lessons, and I do it, I get it, it's great, and that knowledge is spectacular and is going to serve me well in stepping into some conversations. But I was led to do that, right? It wasn't out of just desperation of wanting to know the answers. It was actually feeling it out for myself to see what was true for myself, and I took that action even though in that moment I might not have had faith in it. Oh, Cindy, we're going to go off and learn about Hinduism, right? We're going to delve a little bit into Jehovah Witnesses this week, right? What about those religions that are not technically religions, right? I don't know. There's all kinds of people practicing mindset. And for me, right, even the government here in Canada, they call it an addictions module. But, the job that I have right now was a direct result in me having a few lessons under my belt when that addictions module came across my path, and I knew it to be the truth, and I knew it to be exactly what I had been studying, right? But in the terminology and in the understanding and the networks and the groups that we belong to, we call it something else. But I recognize one thing in dipping into all these religions. One thing I did recognize was the mindset. What, right? And that's that's the commonality between all groups, that we could probably get along pretty good in a time when this world really needs that extra help, and that, right, that little bit of kumbaya, kind of that the Germans and the Americans on one side and calling it truce just to get through Christmas without having those traumas impact us for the rest of our existence. No. I'll have to come back and listen to that. But there's something in that, right? There's something in that. And there's something in the reason why I switched out in the last second. There's something in why I decided to fess up the moment we were going into the word. But that is in that building of trust as we move along, that we can, right, better trust each other. And it takes time. Hey, Malvin. And here's one of those characters right now that I have known for years. How's your day going? His good cheer. My good cheer is that I'm still on the right side of the flowers. Hiya, Cindy. Hello, Melvin. Hello, Melvin. I hope your day is going fantastic. I hope your week is going fantastic. I am starting the job that puts the roof over my head, and I'm happy to ground in that job. And I'm happy. I'm kind of proud of myself because, last payday, I divvied out every single penny to my bills and getting ahead and getting in preparation for this holiday that I'm putting together. I had no idea how I was going to manage for 2 weeks. I knew I was running low on a few things, but I was going to do it. And guess what? Tomorrow's payday. I did it, right? You just got to trust. You just have to have a little bit of faith that things are going to work out, and then move into that action. And I divvied out all that money, and oh my goodness, I need a loaf of bread, or I need a quart of milk, right? I need bus fare, right? And then trust that everything is going to be okay. And you know what? Everything was okay. Sometimes you have to have that faith, right? That everything's going to be good, and it helps you to make that movement. But sometimes you have that faith and you go, "Oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Oh, you know what? There's a good television show on tonight. You know what? let's go off and see Aunt Mary, right, at the nursing home tomorrow. And Aunt Mary passes away tonight while you're watching Big Brother or Survivor or whatever your poison on television is. That was mine. I loved reality TV. Right now, I find it interesting and curious and humorous when I look on the characters, and I wanted to be on that. And I right, but I still think that I would rock that show, Big Brother, right? And I would go in there genuine, and I wonder, right? Could I win that $1 million? Could I be the last one in that household? I don't know unless I put that action into it, right? I could have all the faith that it could be done, but unless I'm moving towards that, it's going to become a hindrance to everything and everyone that is surrounded, right? That is impacted by what you put out to the world, right? And that's not my intent. A little course of correction never hurt anybody. You guys, that's my good cheer. We'll be back tomorrow looking at this maybe in a different perspective, maybe in the same perspective, but in a different way in that perspective. I don't know. I don't know. Thank you, Melvin, for popping in. Thank you. Thank you for your good cheer. I just absolutely love when you come in here and you throw off a good cheer. It makes my day. It's a good start to my work week. Okay, you guys. See you tomorrow.